You're about to hear are those of the hosts and guests alone. They don't represent any police department, agency, sponsor, or employer. Two Cops, One Donut isn't responsible for anything said by guests or for any videos, clips, or content shown during the live stream. This show is intended for adult audiences only. We cover real incidents, we show graphic and sometimes disturbing footage, and we don't shy away from strong language or adult conversations. There may or may not also be alcohol involved. Viewer discretion is strongly advised. Everything you hear or see on the show is for entertainment and educational purposes. It is not legal advice and it's not tactical instruction, and it shouldn't be used for such. By continuing to watch, you're telling us that you understand, you accept all this. All right, now let's get into it. All right, welcome back. Two Cops, One Donut. I am your host, Sergeant Eric Levine, and I officially got my desktop computer back after it being broken for so very, very long. Looking over at the chats, Deadlight goes, someone got their computer back. Yep, I did. I did get my computer back. And I just noticed that if I do landscape mode with my going live, so like it's in landscape right now, but I'm on Instagram. I decided like I'm going to try doing just regular landscape mode over on Instagram, even though Instagram is set up vertically for portrait mode. And looking over at it, it doesn't look terrible. It doesn't look bad. We'll see when I start sharing videos how it looks, but Banning's over on Instagram. I'm your co-host. Take a sip here. Yeah, so the computer is working, but not working in full strength. So let me give you the rundown of what happened. I upgraded my computer. I got a new hard drive. I actually got two new hard drives because I thought the original hard drive that I bought was messed up. And I got new RAM. So I went from 32 gigs RAM to 64 of this Patriot Viper 3600 RAM. Well, it's not true 3600 unless you enable some feature in the BIOS that it's basically some sort of what they consider safe overclocking. I didn't know that. This is for computer nerds. If you're not a computer nerd, you might want to keep moving on because this ain't going to interest you. But I got two solid state drives, the M.2s that are the Samsung 990s. Got those put in, added the RAM in there, used ChatGPT to walk me through it all. It worked like a champ. And then it went fine for like a day and a half, almost 2 days. I was like, holy cow, everything worked on the first time through. It was pretty cool. And it's definitely not my first rodeo building a computer or adding parts or doing any of that, but it was my first time in a long time. Like M.2 hard drives weren't a thing the last time I built a computer. So I put it all together, cloned my original drive. Everything seemed to go fine. All the tests said that it was good. And Information Sniper said mine was 1 gig of RAM. So I did it. I put it all together. 64 gigs of RAM, 3600 Patriot Viper RAM, and then the two 990 SDs. So one's a 4 terabyte, one's a 2 terabyte. Put them in, running smooth. All of a sudden, come back into the computer room the next day, computer had crashed. Look at the crash report. All indicators are saying on the crash report that it may be hard drive related. So I'm like, oh shit, my hard drive screwed up. So I'm like, I'm a little in over my head now because I'm not sure how to repair it. So let me send it to a computer shop. Take it up to a computer shop and tell them what I did. And my assumption was it was a bad clone. And that was his assumption as well, bad clone. So we discuss. He's like, yeah, it shouldn't be long. I'll take a look, get it back to you in a day or two. Over a week later, and this is where I'll give the computer guys credit. Like the dude could not solve the mystery and he did not want to give up. And he's like, I'm not going to charge you, but I want to figure this out. So the best he could figure out, because he was trying to recreate the crash, and the crash would recreate with the RAM being factory overclocked to what it says it is. It says it's 3600. So when you go into the BIOS and you enable this thing, I can't remember what it's called, XPS or something like that. I have a Republic of Gaming desktop. So when you go into the BIOS and you update that and or enable that, that's supposed to make it go to its 3600, what it's supposed to do. For whatever reason, after so long, it can happen in 2 minutes, it can happen in 2 days. Something triggers in that RAM and it causes a blue screen of death and it has to reboot. So I think I have bad sticks, bad RAM sticks. XMP, yeah, thanks, Deadly. That's what it was. I think I have bad RAM sticks. So they're in right now, but it's running at its factory setting, which is like 266, 260, 2666, something like that. Yeah. So I saved the box. I'm going to put it back in the box. I actually bought it from Walmart, believe it or not. So, yes, and they are looking at the comments to Deadleg. Yes, it was a dual set. It was not a individual of each one. I know what you're referring to. Sometimes with RAM, you guys, some are designed for a single stick, some are designed for working together. So I put it's a working set. I'll just leave it at that. Black screen of death is even worse. Yeah, that is worse. Information sniper over on NG or IG. Bad clones are bad. Yeah, bad clones are bad. If Star Wars in the background here has taught us anything, it's that most clones are bad. But Tasker said, I bet it's a combination for processor to RAM. The problem isn't the RAM, but the ability of the processor. I'm running an i7. I don't know. Computer guy didn't say much about the processor itself, but he was quite perplexed. Deadleg says, I've got 4 slots, 16 gigs, all 3600. Yeah, I've got 2 sticks, 3600, but they're not running at 3600. So we'll see. I'm going to probably send them back and try to get a hold of maybe something different brand, maybe. I don't know. Did you try restarting it? Yep. I tried restarting it. I tried doing a whole bunch of shit to it. Is what it is. First world problems, right? First world problems. Trying to keep this shit running. Is what it is. It's the learning process. But we back, baby. We are back. So, let me see. What other news we got? Trying to think of what else. I went to the Axon CEO Summit. Got to see a lot of cool stuff. Basically under a non-disclosure, so I can't really talk about all the cool shit I saw. Just know I saw a bunch of cool stuff. So very cool. Mike Wanla said, checked BIOS settings. Yeah, checked them. Check the BIOS. You got to remember, I checked, computer guy checked, other computer guy checked, and actually one was computer girl. So between the two of them, they said it's one of the oddest things that they've ever seen because all of the stress testing was working. Like it could not reduplicate the problem, and then all of a sudden it would duplicate, and they're like, "What the fuck?" So, it is what it is. Dead Lake Axon Summit, the other studio. Too funny. Doesn't matter if you tell me what processor you exact on. I can look it up. Frequency CPU. Yeah, I could tell you that. Let me see here. I can tell you that. I'm trying to remember where I got to look for that. I think it's in my computer. Let's see here. System. Give me 1 second. I'm trying to actually see what my... trying to remember. System. I think that's what I need. Oh. System information. There we go. The screen is way too big. Let me see here. I am going to Control C, pop that in the chat. There you go. That's the one I got. It's in the chat now. Beautiful. Need help logging into your AOL account? The AI set it up wrong. You should have just had some kid do it for you. I know, right? Just Dog 72 said, why do cops let some tickets slide and some not? Even if super respectful, they really do profile, right? No, man. Now, I'm not going to say that, because there's always that statistical odd person that, yeah, maybe they do profile. Maybe they are a shitty cop. Maybe they shouldn't have been a cop. But for the general way that it's done, for me anyway, and this is the beauty of being a cop, you have discretion. So it's going to vary from person to person, cop to cop. First, you look at their record. So you're going to get their license, go back, run it. If you just got pulled over a week ago and it's for speeding, you're getting pulled over for speeding again, well, that's one way. The other is, trying to think of other ways. Like for me, it's bigger picture. Okay, cool. You were speeding. You're doing 20 over on the freeway in the fast lane. Not a big deal. I'm gonna give you a warning on that. Hey, dude, just slow it down. There's going to be more cops down the road that are doing radar too, and they may give you a ticket. So, but me personally, I just try not to be a hypocrite cop. Like, if you're doing something that I wouldn't do, like I'm probably going to pull you over. Odds of you getting a ticket are very low, unless it's just so grossly negligent that you're endangering people. I'm probably going to write you a ticket. Like, I try to keep it pretty simple. I don't dig too far into it. Oh, was he did he have good manners? No, but who cares? Emotionally, I don't care. If I'm pulling you over, it's based on safety issues. Like, you're being a danger to other people. And I don't know if this is the right way to say it. I don't care about what you do for your own safety. If you want to endanger just yourself, that's cool. You want to go do stunts in a parking lot where there's nobody around? Can a cop stop you for doing something like that if it's dangerous? I guess they could, even if it's a private lot, depending on if the owners complain. But it takes me to 15 other contacts. Cornelius, what's up? I'll see a hello in the chats. It's a pay-to-play situation. The left lane is for people with ticket money. Get out of the way. That's hilarious. Tasker said the max RAM DDR 3200. Yeah, I've got DDR4. DDR5 is 4800. Sally Francis Ford from New Jersey, what's up? Exceed the frequency could be the problem. Possibly. Just Dog said, sounds fair. I don't have many, but I've never been given a break. Just minor infractions. I guess you speak for yourself. Yeah, that's the thing. That's the fun part of policing, in my opinion, is the discretion side. Is being able to make big boy decisions on big boy things, and kind of. I just, like I said, I try to keep it very simple. Try to keep it as fair as I possibly can. There's no single person in this world that can do everything exactly fair. Everything's based on each situation. Cornelia said, nothing, just got back from work. Well, your weekend has begun, hopefully. Wade said, they just don't want to exceed the quota because it might get raised. No, fuck that. Quotas are illegal, but there are ways that specialized units get around that. You get evaluated. And let's say you're on a specialized unit like the traffic unit, and the traffic unit gets, the cool fast cars and the motorcycles. Well, if you are not If you're not performing the way they want you to perform, if your job literally is to go write tickets and you're not writing tickets, they can kick you out of the unit. Now, is that a quota? No, it's not a quota. But it sure is an incentivizer to stay in that unit. Something to consider. Something to consider. It's not that, like I said, that's not a quota officially, but I think it could be argued that it kind of is. I went for a 2-mile run today. I'm hurting. I'm so thirsty. What would you consider offensive or legal representation? I don't know what you're meaning there, information sniper. Could you? This is the whole point, guys, is the questions and answers. So please ask questions and I'll try to give answers. But what do you mean? What do you consider offensive or legal representation? I don't understand what you're asking there. No, because I got to do a night shift tonight for a coworker. Favors are the great giver of work. I love that. Hooking up your buddy. Have you seen the video at Walmart with the suspect with a pew-pew? I am so glad you asked that question. Because guess what? I got loaded up. My reaction to that. So we're going to share that. Share screen. 2 cups. 1 donut. Here we go. I wonder how this is going to look on Instagram. Frame. Okay, let me figure out how I'm going to get in the frame here. I guess I didn't plan this out too well. All right, so backstory. You've got a theft that occurred, I believe, at a Walmart in Canton, Ohio. And this kid got taken to the loss prevention office. I have no idea who this girl is. I don't know if she's another loss prevention officer. I say officer with air quotes. If that's somebody that was with this kid. I keep saying kid. I don't know if he's a juvenile or if he's a just very young adult. But brought to the loss prevention office. So I'm going to make my points on this after we watch it. So Sally said, I must have read your mind. It took everything in me to save this video for today because I saw it for the first time last night at like 8:30 at night. And I knew if I went and did a reaction video and posted it last night, it would have got very limited views. No one would have seen it. It would have got lost in the sauce with everybody else's stuff. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to wait and then I'm going to show it. So I posted it and then I jumped on the live. So let's see here. Okay, so I'm going to keep playing. So you can see he's digging right now. He's in the loss prevention office. He hasn't been handcuffed. And let's go. So how did... All right. Let me stop sharing. Crazy, right? Crazy. So let me... Information sniper, he said, it's a simple question. It's not. I don't understand what you're asking me. What do you consider offensive or legal representation? Those are 2 separate things. What do I consider offensive? I don't know. What are we talking about? Give me a scenario. I'll tell you what I find offensive about it. If I find anything offensive about it. Speeding, I don't find offensive. If we're talking about speeding, things that I find offensive is speeding and weaving in and out of traffic. That's bad. That's it. And I don't see that as offensive as like being offensive towards me or somebody else. I consider that a danger to other people. Legal representation, that's a lawyer. I don't know what you mean by legal representation. Your question is not clear. So that's what I said. Yeah, you asked a simple question. It's so fucking simple that I don't understand it. It's too simple. It's not a clear question. I'm just asking you to clarify, homeboy. Looking at the comments over here, Cynthia Reyes said, I saw the girl was also charged with attempted murder. Supposedly in the longer video, she was also reaching behind his back before he grabbed the gun. Would that be why she was also charged with attempted murder? That could be. It could be that she, admitted later that she was aware of the firearm and didn't say anything, which allowed the whole situation to happen. It's possible. Do I think that's going to stick? I don't think it's going to stick. I think they're going to ask for her to testify against him for a deal. That's probably what will happen. That's just my guess based on experience. So let me get into it. Here's what I know about property crimes. I did 3 years of property crimes as a detective and really specialized in property crimes. So Walmart thefts happen daily, especially in your mid to major cities. I don't know how big Canton is at all. Could be 10,000 people. You know what? I'm on a computer. Let's just look. This will help us. Population of Canton, Ohio. 70,000 people. Okay. So they probably have pretty regular theft going on at their Walmart and their Home Depot and their Lowe's. These are the ones that are always targets. They get hit almost every day. And so the common practice is loss prevention is going to see the person. They're going to start focusing in on them, and they're going to wait till they see their smoking guns on their either in person or on video. So once they have that, they've already started calling police. Like, yeah, we got somebody that we believe is stealing. So cops will roll up, and typically loss prevention will confront them and tell them they got to come over to the loss prevention office. Sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't. For this, it worked. This guy went to the loss prevention office. Now, what that tells me is this guy either went with police or without police. Either way, he got escorted to the loss prevention office and complied the whole time. That can cause complacency to officers that show up and realize that this person went to the loss prevention office without a fight. I think the fix, how do we prevent this? The problem that we have is an officer safety issue is they didn't do a pat down. I tell cops, if you're dealing with theft and you have a credible third-party witness, which loss prevention is about as credible as it gets. It's all they do. It's their bread and butter. They always figure out who's stealing. And honestly, I don't think I've ever been called, and I work in a major city, I don't think I've ever been called to a loss prevention theft call and the person didn't steal anything. Like they were falsely confused or falsely accused. That's never happened to me ever. Doesn't mean it doesn't happen, but in that can cause a complacency with the officers. For me, when I show up and arrive on scene, I walk into that loss prevention office. The first thing I do is say, hey, I need you to stand up, turn around. So I have them stand up, turn around. I start doing a pat down. I just check the high risk areas. I am only doing a Terry frisk, making sure that there is no weapons. That's it. It's really simple. It's really fast. It gives me a chance to gauge this person. It's his level of compliance, everything. Reading people very quickly is what we have to do in these situations. Let me do a pat down and cool. All right. Totality of circumstances. You got caught. You walked to the loss prevention office. You didn't put up a fight. I don't have a need to put you in cuffs right now. You're being cool. You're in the office. You're not getting by me. Let me do a pat down. Make sure you know I got a weapon. Cool. All right. No weapon. All right. You're good. Sit back down. All right. Then we start getting basic information. I figure out from loss prevention first. Well, okay. Show me what happened. All right. Here's the video. This is him. This is what we saw. Cool. All right. We've already got a written up statement. Loss prevention always writes up a statement. And then I take that. I get all the information from those guys. And then I start working on my suspect. Hey, what's your name? What's this? And get all that info from them. If loss prevention hasn't already gotten it, you start running them for warrants. See if there's any other history. Because history on theft from a store can enhance the charges if they've been convicted more than one time. Stuff like that. So anyway. Yeah, I'm going back to the comments. Ward said, wouldn't have to weave if they got out of the left lane. Oregon just passed a law about driving in the left lane. Oh, everybody's still talking about the driving in the left lane. Seems like he was trying to get the police to shoot him. Yes. Okay, so now going into this dude's actions. Yes, you can see he was digging. He was sitting on the couch, and he was waiting for his opportunity when nobody was looking or had their backs turned slightly. And he reaches for that firearm. He pulls it out, pulls the trigger, and it goes click. So I am guessing he didn't have his magazine seated properly. He didn't have his magazine loaded properly. The gun itself, I couldn't tell, but it looked like a legit gun. Like, it looked like it had a red dot on there. It looked like a decent weapon. Not like your, little ghetto blasters that you find out there that are taped up and barely hanging on. So it didn't look like a bad gun. It just looked like uh, improper maintenance of the weapon. And then he immediately tried to do some remedial action on the firearm. You could see he pulled the trigger and like panics, dumps down. It looks like he went for a tap rack or something like that, and then realized he wasn't going to be able to do it. He did try to look like get another attempt on a shot. And remarkably, our officers did not shoot this kid. I cannot believe the restraint that they had to not shoot this guy. So, yeah, Sally said, why wasn't he searched? Well, he wasn't searched because he wasn't under arrest yet. Doesn't look like the cops had everything they needed for the arrest process yet, or they hadn't gotten to that far yet. So, like I said, they would have been justified in doing a pat down. Absolutely. Could have done a pat down. And they didn't. Ward said, knew it was going to be a good video when it said Ohio and Walmart. Were they supposed to detain and search the suspect when they first made contact? They can detain. They could have put him in cuffs if they wanted to. Like I said, for me, I'm kind of a totality of the circumstances. This kid listened to loss prevention. He went to the loss prevention office without putting up a fight. He was being cool. I get there, I would have been like, all right, here, stand up. Let me pat you down real quick. And after I pat him down, I wouldn't let him have access to a bag if he had a bag with him. I wouldn't have searched the bag yet, but I would have pulled it away. I'm not going to let you have access to a bag. And then go into the investigation. He had two people there. So literally, I could have stayed with the suspect, started getting his information while my partner got all the information from loss prevention. As soon as loss prevention shows him, the officer, that they had the proof they need of the offense with enough to arrest, I would have looked over at my partner and just, do the I do this little number here, 10-15. And so he knows, put him in cuffs. Because once I know I've got enough to put him in cuffs, then I'm going to do that. And you can put him in cuffs on a detention. But like I said, I'm all about cooperation. If he's being cooperative, cool. I'm going to continue to be cooperative with them. And just try to make it as dignifying for the person as I can. But that's me. I didn't start out that way. When I first started, I probably would have went in there, stand up, put your hands behind your back. I probably would have put them in cuffs and then did my pat down. I'm justified in doing that. Craig Holcomb said firearm safety, no round in the pipe. Yeah, that could have been it too. I'm not sure if there was no round in the pipe. Because it went click, it makes me think that either maybe it could have been no round in the pipe, or it could have been maybe that he had a bad seated round, like the mag wasn't loaded properly. Deadleg said that Canton is kind of outside of Cleveland, but it's still a little bit of a drive. Ward said, I mean, if they were stealing food and toiletries, that's one thing. But if they're taking luxuries, that's other. That's another. And if you're going for someone who has a gun, grab the gun. The slightest movement of the slide will take it out of battery. Stop grabbing hands and arms. Yeah. I give the cops a lot of credit because you could see the mental process. You could see it happen. They see what they see, and they probably have that, 10th of a second, oh fuck moment. And it wasn't go for my gun. It was go after the gun that's being presented. They lunged at it, and that saved their lives for sure. They attacked that gun because it was such close quarters. And for officers out there, like, if you're that close, a lot of times officers end up getting killed because you're already behind the curve. You're already behind the curve, and you're going for your gun rather than going after the threat. So attacking that gun when you're really close like that, really smart move. So Chaplain Campbell in the house. He said, hello, everyone. I pray that you are all well and for protection of all of our officers today. Thank you, brother. Twitchy Sketch. I also need to rebuild my PC. Typing on a phone sucks. um, yeah, Wade was the one that was talking about the arms. Just going over to Instagram, make sure I didn't miss any questions or anything. Doesn't look like I did. Go Buckeye, shut your mouth. Craig, you almost made me vomit. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm gonna play it one more time just because I want to see it again. Let me get this out of the way. Share screen. Let me do this way. Might work better. Maybe this way. Yeah, there we go. That'll do, pig. All right. So this is what I can't tell. I can't tell if he's retrieving this weapon from his person or from a bag. So I'm kind of pausing and playing. That looks like he's grabbing it from a bag or something, doesn't it? It doesn't look like he's digging in a pocket. I could be. So here he is. This is not a face of somebody that knew what the hell was going to happen. She had no fucking clue. So there he's going. He's trying to rack it. He did rack that. That's a full. He did remedial that gun right there. He's trying to fix the problem. This is what makes me think that there's an issue with the mag load. Because he still tries to shoot. And nothing went off. So I'm not sure if that's due to the officer's actions here or if that is due to just the gun malfunctioning. So, and the other thing I don't know is this a detective or is this if this is one of the loss prevention guys, they need to give this kid an award because that's a very brave act he just did right there. And that was enough where I believe he drops the firearm here because he didn't want no more. He knew he didn't want none of that smoke and he was about to get shot. Guaranteed that was what the thought process was. Like, oh shit, I had my element of surprise. It failed. I got to abandon ship. Credit to this officer. Great knee strike, by the way. To keep him away from that weapon. It looks like this officer's going after the gun on the ground and trying to get the fuck out of the way because you don't know what your partner knows. You don't know if your partner knows that gun is on the ground. He could come in there and still be shooting and be completely 100% justified because he doesn't know. That's why I said it was great restraint, great recognition that officer in the flow of battle there was able to see that gun, went to the ground, and holstered his weapon while he went after this kid. Dropped some devastating freaking distraction strikes there. And Sally said, so what would his charges be? For me, it'd be attempted murder. That's how I believe that would go down. See, I don't see a bag over here. So now that they've wrestled, there's no bag here. So yeah, he had to have drawn that from his person. Now that I'm seeing the whole view. I'm just looking over at the charge or the chat here. That's the loss prevention guy. That's what Ward's saying. Okay, well, if that's the loss prevention guy, he needs to get some sort of commendation from the department and from the city and from Walmart. Oh my God, please don't let Walmart fire him. Now that I'm thinking about it, that's what these stores like to do, don't they? They like to fire him for getting involved. And he didn't have a choice. That was pure survival of his own. It makes sense now that was loss prevention because he targeted the officer. When he went to shoot, both times he was going for the cop. So that does make sense. The video I saw was saying the kid was loss prevention, but based on his reaction and how he adjusted his gig line, he might be military. Also, love the knee drive. Yeah, I agree. I do. Based on the loss prevention guy's movements and actions, like he's been trained. There's training there. I don't know where he got it from, but he's got training of some sort. He did great. Yep. Kudos to him. I'd like to get his name. Maybe we can get him on here and interview him. But yeah, he was, as Deadleg saying, he was completely unarmed in a gunfight at point blank range. Life-saving award regardless. Yeah. Yep, I agree. That was amazing. That was good shit. And Deadleg said he had a big hoodie on too. That can hide a lot. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, Ward saying attempted capital murder. Yep, I would agree. Looks like the electrical control panel door is open. The right person could turn off all of the power to the store. Sounds like some nerd talk, Harrison. Freaking engineer. Tim, calm down, peeps. I'm here. Don't know how long, but better late than never. The loss prevention guy failed the police test. That's where they normally come from. I don't know. A lot of times the loss prevention guys are kids that are building up to get to be a police officer. So they're stuck in between that 18 to 21. They're not quite old enough. Some of them are military. They're transitioning out. They took the first job they could get while they were trying to work on becoming a cop. So all those types of things. Catherine Richard in the house. What's up, Kathleen? Or Catherine. I'm sorry. I said Kathleen. Chaplain Campbell said he has to sign off. Going to the VFW for a potluck dinner. You all please be blessed. Have fun, Chaplain. Tell the boys we said hello. Twitchy Sketch saying hi to Tim. Looking over. Michael DL0725 over on Instagram said the loss prevention officer definitely saved that officer's life. Yeah, 100%. 100% because he re-racked that gun. We don't know if a round got chambered or not, but it again, you can see he tries to shoot a second time. So that's why I keep leaning towards something was up with the rounds in that mag. It'd be funny if we find out later you didn't even have a magazine in it. Sally Francis Ford said I was loss prevention before I got into law enforcement. Yeah. Loss prevention teaches you how to write reports. So it's kind of neat. There's some really good training that you get through loss prevention because you have to articulate what you saw, how you saw it, times, descriptions, all sorts of cool things. So if you're not old enough to become a cop and you're looking into trying to go down that path with some practical application, loss prevention's not bad. You got to learn how to start talking to people and confront them when they're doing bad things. And you want to be good at de-escalation. Craig Holcomb said, or had 22 rounds in the 9mm. Yeah, always possible. Bearded Tim said, what the hell just happened? I don't know why my computer does that. What I hate is the LP guys and the rent-a-cops out there that think they are LEOs. Those types need a physical adjustment sometimes. I mean, yeah, that goes with any sort of authority. I don't think that that's just a loss prevention. I don't think it's just policing in general. I mean, anybody that's out there that's not in a law enforcement capacity, I'm sure you've got some supervisors that think that they're Billy Badass for the department or for your work and that they run everything. To heck with Walmart after that full paid ad Christy Walton took out on the New York Times. I don't know anything about that. If you're talking news, Ward, I definitely don't know about it. So, all right, I'm going to go back to my videos. We're going to talk about Lakey 360. We've talked about this before on a live stream. We didn't know who this guy was at the time, but his videos are making another go. Oh, let me go back here. Let me share the screen. So if you are over on Instagram, how are you guys digging the landscape mode versus the portrait mode? I'm just curious. I just want some feedback if it looks okay. All right, so the basic premise, you're going to hear the call here is that this kid he's out doing chalk art on the sidewalks. So, and cops get called.
Sheriff, this is Matthew speaking. How can I help you?
Yes, I wanted to let you know that someone is
how can I say it? They're using chalk to graffiti, if you will, the sidewalk, and it's really marked up a large area, and he's still there.
Now you can see that in the fast motion play there, the cops did show up. They looked and they left. They left him alone. He kept doing his thing. So those cops did the right thing.
They're working on it.
Bro, I have a gentleman. He's drawing on the ground with chalk. I told him he's not allowed to, but he's still drawing.
I told him he's not allowed to, but he's still drawing.
All right, this one's more.
Okay. So the discussion that I want to have on this is a little more sensitive because I'm calling out citizens rather than calling out police. Now, this kid has been arrested for this before, but he didn't get arrested on these two occasions that we're seeing here. At least not that I know of. But credit to Lakey360 on Instagram. I want to make sure you guys know who that was I was watching, and that is his video. So give him credit to him. He actually collaborated with me on Instagram, so I wanted to make sure he got credit for that. And that's why I put his label on the video itself. So very cool. Thank you very much, Lakey360. Make sure you guys go follow, like his stuff. And basically what he does is kind of an activist that does chalk art. And here's my 2 cents from two cops, one donut. Numbers. Did you hear all those numbers there? That was clever. You may have a city ordinance that says that you can't use chalk art. Okay, cool. Go make contact. Tell the dude, don't do that. You can't do that because we have a city ordinance on it. All right. Fair enough. If you don't, okay, no, let's stick with if you do. If you do and he decides to continue, what are you going to do? You going to arrest him? I'm not. I'm going to tell him not to, and I'm going to leave. If I get a repeat call, I'm going to go back out and say, hey, dude, they keep calling on you. Could you stop? Maybe a ticket. I'm not going to arrest him. That's for sure. So dumb. So dumb. It washes away. Now, if he's drawing wieners and balls and stuff and lewd stuff that, you know, little kids and stuff shouldn't be seeing, that's different. I get that. But that ain't what he's doing. He's drawing like clever. I think what he does is he does like clever political things. Like that said, melt ice. Like you could take that a million different ways. I'm pretty sure he's talking about ICE, the law enforcement agency, but it is what it is. So dumb. It's so dumb. It's a waste of time. So I implore officers out there, please just look at the bigger picture on things. That officer did, the one that you saw come out. He looked, he's like, it's on the sidewalk. It'll wash away. It was not, the juice was not worth the squeeze. And I agree. Tim said, yo, it's tiny on IG. Okay. So it doesn't look that great on IG. Okay. See, this is the balance we have to play, y'all. When I do landscape mode, y'all don't like it. Or when I do portrait mode, you don't like it on YouTube, but when I do it on Instagram, they love it. But they don't like it the other way around. And you can't do both, which is a pain in the... Oh! Or can you? No, you can't. Maybe you can. Deadleg, you're in the audience. What if now I'm going to brainstorm with you guys. What if I opened up 2 instances of Restream? I streamed just one to my vertical platform, Instagram, but then I streamed the other window to everything else in landscape. Is that possible? That might be a thing. Oh, Ward with the fucking dad joke. I like it. Chalk that one up to a bad arrest. But he got him. I like it. I give you credit. That was a good one, brother. Did you see the one with the license plate in Florida? Officers arresting people for frames covering parts of the plate that are part of the identifying items described by law. I didn't see that, but I've seen that occur many times. So like the law states that you can't have anything obstructing your plate. In Texas, especially, people will put these frames around their plate and you can't read the state. You can read the actual plate number, but you can't read what state it is. I don't know if that's the case for the Florida one that you're talking about, but that is something to consider. But I mean, it's one of those things. If the law says you can't obstruct it, I mean, you got to be very clear on what it's obstructing. If it's not obstructing anything, I can clearly read that it's a Texas plate. I can clearly read the plate number. I don't think you have an offense. It's kind of a chintzy thing. That might work if you have a separate virtual desktop. I don't know. I'm not sure. Things to figure out. It may be how I have to do a vertical and a portrait at the same time. If that is the case, Deadleg, if you're listening, that will be cool because that's what I want to do. I may try that out. You know what? I will have to wait. I'll wait till after the live and then I'm going to try it because I have to set up another camera. I only have one camera set up right now. It covered the first letter of the state. They dropped the charges. Yeah. Totality, man. Totality. If a reasonable person can figure out what the plate is, you don't have it. You're digging. It's not that hard. Have it. Make sure you got it or let it go. Free McKee's in the house. What's up, Free? One of our regulars. Let me see here. I forgot. Holy shit. Shout out to Smoke Wagon. I'm not drinking right now, but Smoke Wagon. You guys know that's my favorite bourbon, right? I'm going to pull up my Instagram actually, because I don't think I have it on YouTube. Actually, I can just pull it up on Facebook since I'm already on Facebook. No, I'm not on Facebook right now. This is the other thing. When they did my computer, damn it. When they did my computer, stop it. All my passwords were not, like, you know how you go into your social media stuff and just lets you automatically log in? I got to manually like verify myself again for whatever test that they did. Let me go to my page. You guys can't see this. And okay, here we go. Let me share the screen. Instagram, share. This guy right here. I want to share this guy. Okay. So I always go to Smoke Wagon's social media page. They have a bit fun social media page. Please go like, subscribe, follow those guys. Because the owner, the one that makes all the whiskey, he's always talking about what he's doing. I just find the process interesting, the way he figures out flavors and just all the stuff that they do making whiskey out in Vegas. It's kind of neat. And so they sent me this bottle for commenting. And I'll tell you what I commented. I was like, oh, man, that's great. You guys got another awesome whiskey bottle coming out because they make really cool bottles. And I said, I was like, this 777, because I saw that it was a limited batch. I saw that it was like only 42 bottles were made or something like that. And as you can see, I got 17 out of 42 here. So I was like, that's really cool. Congrats, guys. Best bourbon in the world. I was like, I know I won't get a chance to get my hands on this one. I was like, but I'm going to the store now to get a private stock or something like that. I can't remember exactly what I said, but they hit me up on the DMs and they have shared several Two Cops One Donut things in the past. So we're kind of like, whoever runs their social media, we're going back and forth. And they's like, hey, what's your address? We want to send you an early Christmas present. Now, I didn't know what they were going to send, but I had an idea it was probably going to be this. So they sent me this 777. I get the bottle. Instantly, that's literally, that was the pour. I sat down, started having it, and then shared the picture. Well, as I start to drink it, I'm like, oh my God, this is really good. This is probably now my new favorite Smoke Wagon. And I was like, and it sucks because it's limited, you know? And somebody goes, that's a pricey, or that's a spendy bottle. It actually, it's El Diablo. You can see it right there. He goes, that's a spendy bottle. So I had to look it up. I was like, what the hell you mean it's a spendy bottle? And so I looked it up and it's like, an $1,100 bottle, depending on where you look. It goes anywhere from like $6.99 to $1,100, and I imagine it can go for even more if you keep it and don't open it. But I can tell you that I like it. I liked it before I knew how much it cost, and it ain't going to make it to January. So I don't care how much it costs. If it's good, I'm going to drink it. So thank you to Smoke Wagon. Big shout out to those guys. Twitchy Skits. Did Smoke Wagon sponsor you? I know you mentioned the other day that you'd love if they did. They have not. We haven't gotten to that point yet, but I promise if you guys flood their social media saying that you found out about them through Two Cops, One Donut, it might help me. Might help my cause. I would appreciate that. I'll do a sponsorship that's just for alcohol. They don't even have to pay me. Just do it for alcohol. Let me get bottles to me and my crew. And then, maybe I can give out a bottle, once a week or something like that. And that'd be kind of fun. But yeah. Bearded Tim. Holy shit. Yeah, you said it, brother. Hey, Wade, that's a healthy double. I just go off the ice cube. I like to cut the ice cube in half. Doesn't matter what the glass is. But yeah, homie don't play. Yeah, I like my bourbon. But that'll last me. I'll drink that one. Every once in a while, I'll go for a second glass. Now, if I do a live with y'all, I usually end up drinking 2 or 3 of those right there. Harrison said, I sent you a photo of the plate they arrested the guy over that Elio lacks the ability to think. What did you send it on? Did you send it on let me see. I'm guessing you probably went with yep. Okay, so I'm going to pull this picture up. Let me see if I can I've never shared anything like this. Let me stop sharing this. I'm going to share the picture. Trying to find it. Here we go. Share. See how this looks. Can I make that bigger? That's about as big as that picture. Oh, here we go. Let's zoom. Okay. So I can clearly read the plate. It looks like that's probably the state up there, which it's completely blocked, but it goes based on reasonableness. I know that's a Florida plate. I'm a Florida cop. So I know it's a Florida plate. So the argument that I can't read it's going to go out the window. Now you could make an argument. I thought it could possibly not be a real plate, but then you just run it. So I would type in Baker Tom 4. I'm guessing they have zeros over there. It doesn't look like an O. 0 Paul Edwards. So, or for my military fanatic people, what would that be? Bravo Tango 4 Oscar Papa Echo. So, or actually, that's not Oscar. That's 0. 0 Papa Echo. And yeah, as long as that plate comes back to something, you know what you got. Now, what I will say, old police tactic, is let's say you're set up on a dope house. Let me stop sharing the screen. You're set up on a dope house and you see a transaction. You see them bring a few guns. Like this happens at dope houses all the time. You see guns getting transported back and forth. You see bags of stuff getting transported back and forth. So you're like, all right, I'm going to make a stop on that car. And you're looking for an offense. Well, that may be an offense you use to make that stop so you can start doing an investigation. Just a tactic that police use. I've used it. If it's a legit offense, I like to get 2 or 3 personally. I'll get, no turn signal, failure to stop at, the stoplight or stop sign completely. And then, get them for whatever else little thing I can find. So I've got 3 things that I can talk to them about and make sure that it's on the up and up. If it's an offense, it's an offense. Good thing they sent it to you because that bottle is a monthly house payment. It is literally the most expensive bottle of booze I've ever had in my home. I don't spend over $100 on a bottle. Typically, mine is anywhere from $50 to $80. Depends on how much I want to spoil myself. But I refuse to spend over $100. No way. But the price is kind of dictated by the stores, not so much the whiskey company. They get away with a lot on that. Sea Child said, "Are they 100% dropped the charges because this made news?" Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, again, it goes into the totality of it. If it's a traffic offense and all you pulled them over was traffic, you didn't articulate, you watched them leave a dope house, you didn't see any of that stuff. Yeah, I agree. Fucking bro, like you don't have it. It's reasonableness. It's the bigger picture. I'm with them. They should have dropped those charges. Now, as far as anything that has anything to do with that officer, do I think he needs to get in trouble for it? No, because technically he was right. Part of the plate was blocked. Don't like it. You guys got to change the damn law and articulate it better. That's where we need to fix it. So if we're going to talk about fixing the problem and where it's messed up, I'd say where we start to fix that problem is in the law itself. That's a good place to start, because you can't fault the officer for using the law the way that it's written, but you can fault him based on the totality of the circumstances and, bigger picture stuff. 2 cops, 1 donut. It was over the S at the bottom. Let me look at what a Florida plate looks like unencumbered here. Florida license plate. Image. Oh, yeah, you're right. So across the top, we saw myflorida.com. So that was right. So that wasn't blocked. It was the stuff on the bottom. Yeah, you're right. Let's say Sunshine State, which who gives a fuck? It means nothing. I know that it's a Florida plate and I can see the numbers. That's all I need to see. So yeah, they should have been dropped. Should have been a bullshit stop. Agreed. They dropped it because the law did not support what he did. Yeah, I agree. Concur. I used to live in reading Craig Holcomb. I used to live in Northwest Ohio, Michelle. We could get multiple feet in one night. Yeah. Yep. Hobbs good. Shane in the house. He said, "What's that logo on your hat?" It says LEO SF. It's a nonprofit organization for law enforcement. And of course you would ask me what it stands for, because I can't remember. It was given to me. I'm a sucker for red, white, and blue, as you can see with my lights back here. You got me with red and blue, not because of police work either. It's because of Star Wars. I like the light and the dark side. It's fun. Remember the first time that blue lightsaber got lit up? Man, goosebumps, right? It was awesome. Awesome stuff. I learned to dress for it, and I love seeing it. Oh, yeah, we're talking about the snow. Yeah, it was crazy. I remember it dumping feet in a night when I grew up in Michigan. Feet in Flint. You'd get... I remember it being 3 to 6 feet. It can happen. And then it stopped. I don't know when it stopped, but in my adulthood, anytime I went back to Michigan or whatever, like, minimal snow. Just the cold weather's still there, just not as much snow. Now the Upper Peninsula always gets dumped on. I don't think they've ever lost the amount of snow that they got, but Lower Michigan, at least from Flint down, just doesn't get the snow that it used to get. So, all right, I'm gonna go back to kind of beat that dead horse, but here is a great one. This knuckleheads here. I'm going to share this one. And we're going to hit play.
Cool.
We know you are. So, ICE, Border Patrol, Louisiana.
Internet crimes against children. We went online. Oh yeah, cool.
I don't really buy that. So thanks.
Yeah.
Online with all of you in tinted windows.
We don't respect whatever you do.
Right.
We don't believe you.
Yeah.
They're not at Bromart at noon on a Wednesday.
In tinted
Friday.
windows.
Okay, cool.
We'll see it too.
Bye.
Yeah, I got both of them.
Stupid people.
That's a new one.
Full face on the internet. That's embarrassing. You're embarrassed of your job.
All right, in this one we had. Okay, so I go on to talk about why it's important to know what the fuck you're talking about. Now, let me tell you what you're doing when you don't know and you're guessing. One, you're burning those undercover vehicles. These guys' job is literally to set up these internet predators that are going after your kids. And I could give you all the tips and tricks about how they're actually going after your kids. They will send your kid a free cell phone through Roblox and all sorts of crazy shit. That's how sick and fucked up some of these child predators are. And these guys, they've only got limited undercover cars. They're not covering their face. They're not doing any of that stuff. And they're going out and they're catching what I consider the worst pieces of shit on earth. And you're guessing. You have no clue if they're actually ICE, internet crimes against children, officers, or whatever. Now, we verified they are. They are internet crimes against children unit. And now that you've burned that vehicle, the guys that are good at this stuff, the child predators that are good, they look for that stuff. They will do a meetup and they will be looking. They won't go to the spot that they say they're going to go to. They're going to be looking now for those cars. And if those cars get in the area, they're going to just beat feet and leave and know that it was a cop that had set them up because they know the vehicles to look for. And that's going to be directly because of you. Directly because of you. Because you went out there and ran your mouth about shit that you don't know. Unbelievable. That particular stuff, that one right there, I don't care. You can hate all the cops in the world. That's the one you can't hate. You cannot hate on them. You got to let them do their shit. Got to let them do their shit, guys. I had a ICAC specialist on the show a few years back, and they ran a 1 month detail out of Phoenix, I believe it was. And in 1 month, they had over 400,000 suspects. So they could only focus on the worst of the worst. So I just want you guys to imagine out of 400,000 hits and you're focusing on the worst of the worst, imagine what the worst of the worst is. And that's your kid that they're targeting. So now I didn't convey it in the video when I made my reaction to it to get discussion going, but just know I was pretty fucking pissed off when I made that video. I just didn't show it. I do get pretty upset. I don't get emotionally invested in too much, but the crimes against children, if you are a parent, you know exactly how I feel. If you're not a parent, it's going to be harder for you. Not impossible, but harder. So, Julie, they're trying to protect the ones who can't protect themselves. Absolutely. Twitchy sketch. To be fair, the officer didn't have to disclose that info. Shame on the idiots who caused the situation, though. Yeah. But honestly, I'm okay with you identify. I mean, you kind of identify yourself, what you're doing, and hope that person makes the right decision. But they didn't. And then they posted it, thinking that they were some sort of white knight, putting ICE to shame. Really? Like, what is your goal? What's your goal ultimately? Get somebody doxxed? Congratulations, you just screwed up an investigation. Bad guys are smarter than you think, especially the ones that know they can't afford to get caught. The ones that are doing crimes against children, they cannot get caught. If they get caught, they're going to get killed in prison. Or they're going to live a life in prison that nobody wants. But it is what it is. All right, let's go to the next video. I knew it's the fun thing about knowing our community so well. I sometimes I put something up there. I'm like, they're not going to say anything on this one because you can't really argue that shit. I mean, you can. Some of you guys had a little decent. Well, they didn't have to say where they worked. Yeah, that's true. They didn't. But nobody's really going to push harder than that. That's just too stupid. It's too stupid. You cannot let your hate for police blind you to logic and reason. Cannot do it. Okay, let me go back. Let's see. What video will we not show? Okay, so I had a little whiskey and I made this video. Okay, I'm going to. This didn't get a lot of views, so maybe I just think I'm funny. I was laughing my ass off. I was like, this is hilarious. But maybe it's not. I don't know. This is how I get sometimes. I'm like, that's pretty damn funny. Sometimes if you just make yourself laugh, that's all that matters. I thought this shit was funny. I just got a little wild hair up my ass. I was like, I'm going to make a little Christmas video since we're on Christmas time. Weird. They said that there was a call around here of an inappropriate Christmas ornament in the yard. I don't see it. I'll check in the morning.
Approximately 10 hours later.
Yeah, batch 502. I think I got it over here. Just straight jerking it. Yeah, I think that's it.
You're watching DTV, the donut.
Oh, shit. That was funny. I make myself laugh sometimes. If you don't make yourself laugh, I mean, what are you doing? I thought it was funny. Anyway, yeah. Merry Christmas, everybody. Merry Christmas. Let me go back. I don't think we showed this one. We'll share the screen here. Boom. Florida woman already starting out great. If there's one thing Florida has, it's both screwed up cops and screwed up bad guys. All right, let's play this here. There was no story behind this one. Sorry, y'all. I did get a lot of people asking, well, what was she being detained for? Or what are they trying to stop her for? I don't know. What I got is what I got. This is how the video started out. The only thing I did different was speed it up, slow it down. That was it.
You're gonna get tased. You're gonna get tased. Taser. You're gonna get tased. You're gonna get tased. Taser.
I love slow-mo speech. Okay. I'm going to stop right here for now. The people are like, oh, he tased her in the back. That is the target area. That is the most prime target area in training. So when you're trained, they would prefer for you to avoid any frontal hits, but it's approved. They don't want you to target around the heart or the face, obviously. So lower than try to get under the pecs if you can. My computer's being weird. Give me 1 second. My computer's doing weird stuff. Anyway, so the target area of the back is where you want to get them. It's the safest place because more often than not, when they go down, they'll have a little arm control and they can kind of stop themselves when they go down. Anyway, would I have used the taser here? Not necessarily. So that's one of the things that we can discuss is, should he have used the taser? I would say he could probably have caught up to her pretty easy. I can't see him, so I don't know. Maybe he's a little out of shape, possibly. Maybe she's a doper and he didn't want to go hands-on because she had some open cuts and sores and stuff like that. So I get that too. Sometimes if it's a client that you've dealt with before and they have glass pipes or needles on them, you may know that stuff ahead of time. And you're like, yeah, I'm definitely not going hands-on with this person if they decide to run. And sorry, I was reading some of the comments. I lost my train of thought on that one. But yeah, you don't want to go hands-on with people with drug paraphernalia and whatnot as well. But for me, I probably would have just caught up to her, either give her a little shoulder check or kick a foot out from underneath. Sometimes just putting a hand on them, like, you're not going to get away, they'll stop. You got to be ready for a fight, though, just in case. But this took all the fight out of her. Now, what you do have to consider is what you're tasering over. Now, we tasered over asphalt. That's usually not a good spot to do it. And that's going to depend on policy at the departments if they allow that. But I'm going to continue here now that he's tased. He gave the warnings. He did everything right so far as using the taser goes.
Lay on the ground. Right now, you're going to get it again. Lay on the ground or you're going to get it.
You could see she was pulling the leads, trying to find him and get him off of her. So him using, kind of an authoritative voice, don't stop, roll over, or you're going to get it again. I don't disagree with that. I think that's all fine and dandy.
Again. 6-2-14, 10-31, taser deployed. You're going to get it again. Roll over on your stomach.
Moving it out of my pants.
Roll over on your stomach now. I got another cartridge if you do that. Put your hands behind your back.
So he's telling her, I got another cartridge if you try to take that taser lead out, because it's what it looked like she was doing. She was trying to pull him out of her, so he couldn't taser. And finally, she listened. She rolled over to her stomach. I want you to listen to the voice change on our officer, because he's been pretty authoritative up until now.
All right. I'm going to roll you on your side, and then we're going to stand up, okay?
So then he de-escalates. He used the taser. It worked. He got her to comply without having to use it again, without having to strike her. Put her in cuffs and gets her up. Doesn't mistreat her.
Now roll up and stand, okay?
Got a little scrape on her face.
Got it. Really wish you would have done all that.
All right, I've said this before. So for me, my opinion on it was fine. It's not how I would have handled it. Department policies differ everywhere. So whether or not he was allowed to use it or not, I would implore officers, like, if you don't have to, maybe not, But then the alternative was, if he didn't, and let's say he tackled her or, shoulder checked her or whatever. Now, what looks worse? A male officer hitting a female or a male officer just tasing a female? You're not going to win either way. People are they're going to get mad either way. It's going to be those that are okay with it, those that aren't. And then vice versa. If he didn't use a taser and he went hands-on, there's those that are going to get mad about that and those that aren't. So things to consider. You could have crawled on all fours and caught that Oompa Loompa. Freeman. Oh, shit. Something in the water in Florida. Yeah, for sure. Florida got the weird stuff going on over there. Julie, did you build the computer yourself? I did not build the computer myself. It was a Asus Republic of Gaming Lab desktop that I bought pre-built. All I did was update the hard drives and the RAM, and apparently the RAM is not very happy with what we have in it. So I'm going to have to figure that out. But according to everything that I read, the 3600 RAM should have been fine, but somebody else in the chat said that the 3600 is not good. Freeman said, Eric, my concern is more that officers are being hired that are not good physical condition, and the more uses of force will be approved, like you did in the video. Seen Izzo's latest. I haven't seen Izzo's latest. Let me see if I can't find Izzo's. I'll go to his YouTube channel. Dominic Izzo. Let's see. I'm guessing it's on his Cop Talk Live stuff. Let me see. Is it a short? Let's see his latest short. What's it about? If you could tell me what it's about. I'm looking at his homepage. Dude's got a ton of videos. I really need to organize my YouTube channel like Izzo's. It's a pretty cool organization. I have not organized any of my shit. Might need to get that done by somebody. I need to organize. My concern, I'm sorry. There's a tiny female officer and warning. He gets mad. Tiny female officer. Oh, I see it. Tiny cop from Rhode Island. All right, Izzo. Give me a second. I'm going to pull it up as soon as it. Okay, I'm going to share the screen. If you guys don't know Dominic Izzo, he's a buddy of mine. Love his content. Don't agree with everything he says, but some things I do. He is more of a shock value than I can be because I still do the job. So just consider that when you guys hear him. Again, I go back to our warning, the views and opinions of people that we have on here are not necessarily that of Two Cops, One Donut. So I don't know what he's about to say, so I'm giving my warning. Izzo says a lot of crazy shit sometimes, but he's a good dude. Make sure you guys like and follow his stuff.
We're just going to start saving lives and vilifying and demonizing police departments out there because you guys can't get it through your fucking heads. This is the Gloucester Police Department in Rhode Island who puts up a new hire on their social media. Let me explain why you doing this just put more citizens in your town in danger and cops on the street, not to mention more delusional females across America. This is your latest new hire, Paige Labossiere. Hope I'm pronouncing that right. I'm assuming it's French. And listen, congratulations for you going to the academy. I don't know what the standards have been lowered to lately and whatnot. I clearly have a bias towards female police officers, but what makes it worse.
This is where Izzo and I differ. I'm perfectly fine with female officers. I've had a lot of great female officers in my career.
Is the stature of a police officer out there when she can't do the job. Now, command presence. Everybody talks about de-escalation and how essential it is. And there's certain levels of de-escalation. Sometimes people think that it's talking. Other times, believe it or not, if somebody's going to reach for a gun and I punch them in the face and they don't reach for the gun, I de-escalated the situation. But the number one most powerful form of de-escalation is officer presence. Officer Paige and Gloucester Police Department, I legitimately have a question. When this officer shows up on scene for drunk, stoned out of his mind, jacked up, Joe Shit the Ragman, whose life is at his fucking wit's end, can't stand his bitch wife, his kids, he's got money problems, and this cop shows in order, do we think that she's a toddler holding a balloon? This is getting officer presence of a fucking toddler holding a balloon. It is what it is. I don't know how we have to sit there and keep addressing this. But here's the deal. Congratulations for the Gloucester Police Department. You just put this little girl's life in danger and civilians and other cops. So number one, your crime rate isn't that high in this department. So let's kind of talk about the obvious. What are you going to do the day that she's got that bug to bite where now she's a cop and the adrenaline hit?
All right. I'll stop it there. If you're asking what my opinion is on that, I mean, he makes some points, but my thing on that is you signed up for it. You know what you're getting into. So if that officer ends up getting hurt, I mean, it's no different than anybody else. It's if I get hurt, you know, I'm 195 pounds, 190, somewhere in between there. After the holidays, I'm probably about 195. That's why I started running today. I'm starting to get thick. So, you know, you know the risk when you sign up. If you're willing to do it, that's on you. If the citizens are okay with it, It's on the citizens. So hiring standards come down to what the citizens will allow, what you will allow for yourself, because I think everybody has the right to defend their own nation. I think everybody has the right to defend their own community through policing, if that's what they want to do, or be a firefighter or whatever. As long as you can meet the standards. If the standards suck, well, it's on the department. Is what it is. I don't know what else to say. I mean, is somebody that small easier to overcome? Yeah, sure. But I know dudes that are too tiny and can't defend themselves. So that's why I don't really care if they're male or female. I just care that you can live up to the standards that are there and improvise, train, do what you got to do. I mean, you have the great equalizers on your belt. So learn. But yeah, he's Harrison saying that some female LEOs might go to the gun sooner than a person in better shape would. Yeah, for sure. I agree with him. And again, citizens, it's on you. This isn't a department thing. If the department hires them, it's because of the push of change that the citizens have made. Y'all got to live with the consequences of that. If you think somebody smaller is going to be more likely to go to a gun rather than go hands-on or whatever else, well, whose fault is that? I don't know. Wade Lucero, Eric, you're 195. She could not pull you out of the line of fire if you were down. I know, bro, because I'm gangster. I wouldn't go down. Bulletproof, son. I'm just kidding. I'm not. 20 pounds of gear. No, more like 45 pounds of gear. I'm a little extra. I always had an extra mag, extra set of cuffs, better radio system. I'm heavier. Ward, she'll balloon up after her second divorce. Oh, shit. Yeah. So, no, it is the standards that are allowed. If you're meeting the standards, I have zero argument. If those standards are leading to a higher use of force, that's something that you need to see, and you need to adjust based on what the citizens of that area want. If they're okay with it, you got nothing. If they're not okay with it, it's time to start adjusting. But making the argument and knowing some of the things that cause it, really, I've never had a chance to choose who they hire. Citizens do not get a say. That's hilarious. To make sure you're good. No, you maybe individually don't have a say, but power to the people. If citizens didn't have a say, let's go down that path. We wouldn't have dash cameras. We wouldn't have body cameras. We wouldn't have tasers. We wouldn't have batons. We'd still be out there with just handcuffs and a gun. We wouldn't have pepper spray. We wouldn't have cars that have lights all over them. We wouldn't have cars that have buddy bumpers. Wouldn't have. There's so much shit that cops wouldn't have to live up to. They'd still be hiring cops that are 6'4", 200 plus pounds, because that used to be the hiring standard. Look at troopers. They still kind of have that. So thinking that you have no power to figure out who can and can't be hired is bullshit. You guys have more power together than an entire department that stands up and says, we're not going to do something without this. They'll be like, well, I guess you're finding a new job. Get out there and do the job. So, Freeman, not trying to stir the pot, just talking love, y'all. Too funny. But yeah, sorry. To make sure you're good over there on YouTube, you definitely have a say. You just have to have a collective say. Doesn't take much. Let your mayor, depending on where you're at, let your sheriff know, let your mayor know, let city council know. It's pretty easy. Pretty easy. As long as you got a good argument that makes sense, you can back it up with some factual, quantitative data. Usually those type of arguments go pretty far. Like I said, look at all the stuff that police have because of your voice. De-escalation training. What else did we have? Cultural diversity training. Critical crisis intervention training. Learning languages. All sorts of stuff. All sorts of stuff. Those weren't ideas that cops were like, you know what? We really need more training on cultural diversity. I lack culture. Well, they noticed problems in the policing and they showed the data and they're like, all right, we need training here. That's how it works. You got a larger voice than you think. Tell you who doesn't have very much of a voice is the officers themselves. Salo6634. Hello, sir, from Brazil. And I follow you because I love your content about police. Hell yeah. And he has a question. Go ahead, Salo, ask your question, brother. Yeah, one of the things that you guys, another person gave me shit about my So You Think Cops Do It Better in Other Countries video, not understanding these videos are sent to me from people like Salo. He didn't send me the videos, but I'm just saying people from these other countries are sending them in because they want the attention brought to their own places. They have problems with their policing and they want people to see it. They want people to be outraged to help them have a voice. Evan Dro, Toronto. Hi from Toronto, Canada. I have spent many a times partying out in Toronto in my youth. Before you needed a passport to go over there and drink, we would go to Canada, Windsor usually, but we've been to Toronto a few times. Hockey Hall of Fame's out there. Toronto has the best poutine in the land. If you guys don't know what that is, look it up. It's not what you think, you sickos. What do you think about the Brazilian police? I think Brazilian police are, I think they can be pretty badass out there, Salo. But I do think they're a little heavy-handed. I think they've got some use of force issues that would not fly over here in the United States. So, but I think you guys got legit police training. I think they have really good jiu-jitsu for sure. But yeah, you know, and you guys have different culture. Different things are allowed. It's not, I'm not saying it's good or it's bad. I'm just saying that over here, some of the stuff wouldn't fly. That's all. And if everybody in the country is cool with how it is, that's what it is. It's how it should be. Not necessarily going to work over here, though. Because some of the videos we see in Brazil are crazy. What are your thoughts on the 30 by 30 initiative? 30% women in LA. It's stupid. I don't think anytime you interject anything into a hiring standard is a good thing. It should be the best qualified candidate. That's it. Best qualified candidate. Trying to force it to be a woman, trying to force it to be minority or whatever you want to put in there. If it has nothing to do with their character and their abilities to perform the job the best, I don't like it. I don't agree with it. That's it. It's pretty simple. Again, I don't get into the politics of the things. I just stay simple. Like, give me good charactered people that can do the job and give me the best one that can do it. However you determine that, that's what makes a difference. How do you determine who's the best? Is it because they have a college degree? In my experience, that doesn't make you a better cop. Like I said before, give me the guy that was a barista for 5 years or a bartender for 5 years. Somebody that worked in retail. Take those guys all day long. All day long. But where are we at? Hour and a half? Here in Brazil, we just love to see body cams about the police of the USA. Awesome. Where are all those men in perfect shape and size for being an officer? She's stepping up to protect her community. There is a shortage of people who want to become an officer. And yeah, it's a valid argument. Valid argument. There's not a lot of people that want to jump up and do this job. Not right now. It ebbs and flows. I think it'll come back. But yeah, it's a great point, and I agree. But looking at the videos, I've pretty much shown what I wanted to show today. Looking at my messages. Oh, I got people that are trying to be my friends. Delete. But all right. Well, if we patriots of Brazil, we just want the police here to be more like, I'm going to put this one up here. So you guys, look, you see what I was talking about. We patriots of Brazil, we just want the police here to be more like US because the police here doesn't have respect. Thank you. So now you guys know I'm not bullshitting you on why I share these videos. I've told you before. I do these videos of you think they do policing in other countries better, not to make fun of them, not to do what you like. And I'm not saying this to my community that follow me regularly. You guys know that's not my style. There's always a deep-seated behind-the-scenes mission for the education side. One is perspective sharing. One, seeing how they do police work in other countries, what's acceptable, what's not acceptable. But the big thing is, like I said, I have been reached out to more times than I can count from other countries saying, please help us get awareness to our country and the way that we're doing policing over here. And so that's what I've been doing. And I don't know if it's helping or not, but they love it. So I am not going to try to appeal to the masses. I'm trying to appeal to the ones that need help. Yeah. Thank you, Salo. I hope I'm saying that right. Or Salo. 2 cops, 1 donut. If we had a say, we would have a 2-party system that controls everything. If you cannot see that, I'm sorry. I just told you. I just gave you example after example after example that you have a say. So Harrison, sorry, but fuck off with that. Because if you didn't have a say, we wouldn't have all that shit, would we? We wouldn't have all those mandates. We wouldn't have the pursuit policies in most places like we have. Now, what do? We see the very few departments that have that old school pursuit policy. I can nail example after example of how your voice makes a difference. And then you're going to come up here and try to say that you need a 2-party system for that. I'm sorry, you don't see it. Sorry, it's not working in your area, but for overall, it is. Agree to disagree, I guess. Sorry, you don't see that. Merry Christmas, everyone. Have a safe holiday. Thanks, Julie. Appreciate you. Take it easy. T Ward, yes. Merry Christmas to all. Yes, Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. Oh, I didn't want to do that. Oh, I just realized I can respond back specifically to channels. Oh, that's pretty cool. Look, if I do this, I can say hello to YouTube. And only YouTube people can see that. Oh, a new feature from Restream. I didn't even know we had. That's cool. I love it. All right, y'all. Been on an hour and a half. Just wanted to see if my computer was going to hang on for this. It looks like it hasn't crashed on me yet. I think I'm going to get off. I'm going to try to start up a game. Maybe Dead Leg if he's out there. Maybe that's something we can do and see if my computer is going to crash based on the game and see how it performs. So, Freeman, I think I made Michelle mad. Sorry, Mom. She'll get over it. Laziness. Don't want to stand for something. Y'all fall for whatever. Have to take action and not just whine. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I'm happy for anybody that wants to step up and try to do their part. I think that's part of the problem that we have. Not enough people step up. So All right, y'all. Before I get off here, if you want to help support the page, I save this for one time. I try not to do this too much because it's annoying and I don't want to ask for your hard-earned money. If you would like to, here is the link for the Buy Me a Coffee. This goes directly to the channel, helps us get our premium YouTube account so you guys don't have to watch any ads or anything like that. It helps support the channel itself. For the software that we use, Restream, this is, a monthly payment, all the editing and whatnot. So we're just trying to support the page. It isn't going into our pockets or anything like that. So if you guys want to support the page, the Buy Me a Coffee link will help, or you can just get a membership, buy the super chats, do whatever you want to do over on YouTube. So all of those things. If not, if you don't want to spend your hard-earned money, and I don't blame you because I'm just some dude on the internet, please like, subscribe, follow. Just get somebody else to do it. If you're already doing it, just get somebody else. That helps us a lot. And it doesn't cost anything, and it takes you 10 seconds. So, Gina Marie, are you having a stream Monday night? Yes, I should. I don't see anything getting in the way of that. My kiddo's been having a lot of orchestra Christmas concerts, so sorry, I got to do dad duties. So that's why I have not been available for some of the streams. And be advised, I do plan, I think the 27th, to do a live stream with a guy from Staccato Training. That should be, I want to do that one live. I think he's really great. We're going to go through the interview. Okay, so this is how I'm going to do this live, just so you guys can have a prep for it. We're going to go through the interview. We're just going to talk. I'm going to let him go. We're going to do our discussion. I'm not going to pay attention to y'all. You guys will be there. You'll be able to chat amongst each other while we're doing the live stream. But I'm not going to be paying attention to y'all until we're done. Then we'll switch over. Then we'll open up for questions and stuff like that. We want to get the information out there because he's going to have a ton. He's going to be flying off the handle about police training and firearms. So we're going to be talking about that a lot. It'll all be live. And then at the end of it, we'll open it up for questions and all that stuff. Because the last time we did it with the attorney, I feel like we didn't get to enough material. We could have got to more. So I'm going to do that. Thank you for spending your time with TCOD today. Yes, thank you very much. Appreciate y'all. I'm going to throw this out there. I'm looking to organize my YouTube channel like you see Izzo's, just to clean it up. I have never organized my YouTube channel. So it is a sloppy mess. So if somebody wants to take on that project or team up and take on that project with somebody else, let me know. If not, I'm going to have to just deal with it. It isn't a big deal, but yeah. Freeman, yeah, that makes for a better podcast. Good call. Yeah, we're going to do that. I want to get to all of the stuff. And Marine Blood's in the house. He said, do you want to encourage Eric to stream more and let his mods know when he's streaming first? Pester him in Discord. I just wanted to see if the computer will work, and it's working. That's all. Appreciate you guys. Yeah, I got to work on, hey, Marine Bloods, when we get off of here, meet me over in Discord. And I know Twitchy Skitch was talking about wanting a mod and stuff like that. So looking for that T-word, 10% Staccato discount code at the end of the stream. Maybe. I don't know. We'll ask him. So, but yeah, hopefully the dude will gift you. I don't think Homeboy is going to just show up with a gun and go, Merry Christmas. I don't think that's going to happen. But yeah. All right, guys, I'm going to get off here. I got to pee. And Marines, Twitchy, I want to make a mod. So let's meet over on Discord. And everybody else, have a good day and happy holidays.